US-China trade war, dramatic play, or economic reality check? Let's get straight to the point, folks. The US and China have been tangoing on the edge of an economic apocalypse. That's right. Yet again, we've almost stumbled into the abyss. But why? Because President Trump's administration, known for its bold but reckless steps, decided to cut tariffs with China. Yeah, the markets had a field day with this one, cheering like it's the Super Bowl of economic policy. But let's not get carried away. Even Teflon Don can't ignore the harsh slap of economic realities. With this so-called deal in Geneva, both sides agreed to cut back tariff rates by some ridiculous percentages. But let's be real, they knew they had no choice. The U.S. manufacturing sector seemed like it was on life support, with factories spitting out pink slips faster than products. Ports felt like ghost towns, and experts were calculating recession odds like meteorologists predicting a storm. Amidst this chaos, the U.S. and China decided to dance back from the brink of total trade warfare. Yet, Beijing didn't even promise to alter its shady trading practices. It's the classic case of putting on a brave face while biting one's tongue. Indeed, the Treasury Secretary tried to spin it as diplomacy, but we all know decoupling from China was never on the table. The hawks on our side see this truth. Steve Bannon even called it a process. But that's rich! A process of ignoring economic chaos while pretending everything's fine. For now, the big boast is just the start of talks and a working relationship between top brass on both sides. But let's not forget, it's mostly for show. Our officials claim both parties offered concessions. China touched none of their non-tariff countermeasures but accepted fentanyl tariffs. Meanwhile, the U.S. allowed some retaliation crumbs for China, unlike their treatment of other nations. Trump's supposed shock therapy led to promises of trade barrier changes. Yet who looks more desperate? Both countries' economies felt like sinking ships. While China's factories were allegedly shutting down, our prices soared while goods got harder to find. Economists watched the scene in horror, claiming it as an initial jab of economic agony. The White House dodged commenting, but their silence spoke volumes. Corporations that stretch across borders hoped this thaw would offer relief, but with a hefty 30% tariff on Chinese goods, profits could evaporate faster than water in the Sahara. Our tariff rates are historic high notes, and this win comes with major strings. Manufacturers, retailers, and small business owners are left scrambling, hoping to move what they can under this new 90-day lower tariff window. But for some sectors, like agriculture, the damage is done. Supply chains need stability, something that's vanished quicker than a vapor. Tariff threats, implemented or not, wreak havoc on business plans and could haunt ports for years. The full brunt is expected to hit mid-year as reserve inventory runs dry. Who knows if businesses will jump back to the shipping stage gates? A hefty 30% slap on top of punishing tariffs might still be too steep to handle, particularly if looming shipping costs rise too. Opinions vary, but once tariffs creep past the 25% mark, businesses and consumers alike feel the squeeze. The White House seemed tangled in this puzzle, aware that consumer costs might skyrocket, disrupting supply chains deemed vital for national security. One former official disclosed industry pressure pushed the White House into these talks. Industries, especially automakers and defense, feared their supply of rare earth magnets from China might be cut. China's restrictions hit the U.S. hard, forcing a tense meet up in Switzerland. Meanwhile, Beijing watched its economy take hits from slow growth and internal struggles. Trump's tariffs didn't just target China's export manufacturing, they zeroed in on a fifth of its GDP. It wasn't just about the numbers. The Communist Party feared social unrest could bloom from economic downturns. Trump blustered about not hurting China, but helping them out of their economic tailspin. Yet this reduction only scratches the surface, with lingering doubts about long-term implications. Industry experts point out the new tariffs on China still cast a large shadow over pre-Trump eras. Some fear this could hamper investment pursuits even with this so-called victory. Across the board, tariffs on China remain, and there's a commitment to maintaining a 10% baseline for all nations going forward. Trade restriction proponents view this as a win. Given last year, this would seem impossible. Despite vague signs of economic slowdowns, the sentiment of doom isn't far from hearts and minds. Skepticism remains about genuine economic growth. The latest tariff pullback might just let a flicker of U.S.-China trade rebound burn. But the restart isn't instant. Cargo will need rerouting from Southeast Asia back to overflowing ports. These knee-jerk economic moves offer only temporary relief, saving perhaps Christmas, but not enough to avert other cultural benchmarks like Father's Day or back to school demands. This was Grassroots Report. Have a nice day.